Welcome back to In Progress Podcast with our hosts, Cece and Taiwan.
Today, we're going to be talking to Mr. Taiwan about how his game was between the 49ers and the Cleveland Browns. So, Taiwan, how was it?
It was an amazing game, but it was going well at first until we lost. But we only lost because our players got injured. Debo Samuels and Kristen McCaffrey, they got injured, so they had to get out the game. And then our kicker, what's his name? Jake Moody, he missed a field goal, so we lost.
How was the weather that day?
It was very cold.
It was very cold. So if it's cold, then the weather might have got to them, like with the roads and everything, we had it's cold. So that could have conflicted it, or they just ran a certain type of way, basically messed them up. So, how did you feel on actually being there? How was the experience of it?
It was fun being there. That was my first game I ever went to, so I was excited being there. But we were doing good at first. Like we were doing good in the first half, the first quarter, the second quarter, third quarter. But then the fourth quarter, we ended up losing. Like our two players ended up getting out of the game.
So it took a
Yeah,
toll.
we were lacking.
So it took a toll. How did your uncle feel about it?
I mean, he was heartbroken.
What's your favorite team?
49ers.
The 49ers. Okay. So, where, how did you like it overall? Did you feel like they should have played a certain type of way, or did you feel like they played it good?
Yeah, I feel like they did good, but it was the kicker's fault why we lost.
So
Because
like,
he missed the field goal and we could have won because the score was 17-19. And if he would have made the field goal, it would have been 20-19. But he missed it. Now me and my uncle was mad at him. I wanted
so
to go in that field and punch him.
that's how it is. Especially if you're going to a game and it's like your favorite team, you want them to win. It's like you gotta win. Especially if I'm here, it's like you feel like you want them to win. Especially if it's like your first experience,
Right.
you're like you're counting on them to win.
Right. And I lost the
Basically.
bet against my friend. I bet it $100.
Ooh. So you lost 100.
Yeah, because he was talking all that trash. He was saying that the Browns was going to beat us, but I was talking trash too. I was like, no, they're not, because we were 5-0. Now we
Ooh.
5-1 because we lost to the Browns. But I can't believe we lost to the Browns though.
It's always a learning
They
experience.
got lucky.
Would you say you go back to another game?
Oh yes, I'm going to the 49ers and the Eagles game in December. But
So,
I lost a bet against my friend. I lost $100. But I was confident in my team though.
would you
That we
bet,
were going to win because it's the 49ers though.
would you
But
bet
then the
on
Browns,
would you bet on another game?
nah, because you
Especially
just
not
never
that
know
much.
what's going to happen in the game,
Especially betting $100. Ooh.
right?
Mm-mm. So
Well, there's reasons why they beat us. They only beat us because two of our players got injured in the game, and the kicker he missed a field goal, and he's a rookie.
so he's getting new to it.
Yes,
So did you meet anybody at the game? Like any
football players. No,
did you meet any of the coaches?
no. I was just watching the game. It was cold. And
Yeah.
everything.
Especially if they're having it outside. Yeah, it's gonna get cold. Um so did you have fun overall?
Yes,
Yeah. How long of a drive was it?
it was like 1 hour, like 30 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad. From here to there. Do they have it at the actual Cleveland football stadium?
Oh yes,
I was like
it
right
was
downtown.
there.
So like y'all were right outside.
It was very fun to be there.
Um
I was very sad that my team lost.
it's
Like I
always
was
a learning
shocked.
experience. It's always a learning experience, especially if you're going to your first time. Like
Right.
me, I actually went to the YSU basketball game once, and it was like my first time. So it was like the team that they were playing at the time, they were like on point. The YSU was on point, but it honestly too, it's all good because it's like all football team or like basketball teams, like sports teams in general, they all put their life out there to do it. So they all put their all
To
effort
keep
in.
us entertained.
Mm-hmm. and especially too because basketball, football, and stuff, they can bring a lot of injuries to you. Like
Right.
there's a lot that footballers and basketball people like they get injured a lot.
Right.
So there's that. So you also gotta like out for that.
Yeah, it's normal in football.
Mm-hmm.
Braden and Greg.
What's up, everyone? It's Braden and Greg, and we're here to talk to you guys about the two war conflicts going on right now. I know we were just talking about sports, something light, but we're gonna get a little more serious here. So, as students, we have our whole future ahead of us. So, when looking at the world, we have to think about our future as well. When looking at the conflicts and the different things that are going on and affecting different people throughout the world in different situations. So, just to start off, how do you feel about the wars? Do you know much about them? Do you have any feelings about them?
See, me personally, I don't really know much about the wars
Mhm.
because I don't watch the news or nothing like that. But like, I think the whole situation is like kind of petty.
Yeah, I feel like all wars involve some pettiness. Like it's kind of human nature to want to better things for yourself and tear down things for your neighbor to do so. But so to talk, just to broadenly cover the things that are going on, Ukraine is obviously battling with Russia, and then Palestine is battling with Israel. And so I got some facts about the two wars. Did you want to go through them and stuff?
Yeah.
All right, bet. So in December 1st, 1991, Ukraine became independent, and a lot of stuff happened. Like in December 5th, they signed the Budapest Memorandum. I don't know exactly how to pronounce that word, but it basically made Ukraine a non-nuclear power, so they could hold no nuclear weapons. And like, how do you feel about that? Like, just stripping a country of nuclear weapons in a modern world where those are kind of the powerhouse of a military.
Sad.
You think it's sad?
Yeah.
I think it's sad in part. It's kind of just a way to make sure a country can't do anything to you. But yeah, continuing on, April 3rd in 2008, Russia fought with Ukraine through political debates. They were basically trying to say that Ukraine wasn't a real state. They were trying to make it to where they could claim it as their own. And in February 2014, they actually did that, and they seized Crimea, and that created international outrage. The NATO was very upset with them. And December 2021, Putin demanded security guarantees, and he began to deploy an increasing amount of soldiers into the Ukraine-Russian border. So like he just started moving all of his army right near the border. And then on February 1st, 2022, he recognized small breakaway nations as sovereign states. So basically he looked at parts of Ukraine and he said, this isn't Ukraine. This is their own state. And when he did that, he sent soldiers to protect the peace. But we all know that's a lie, because 3 days later, he launched a full-scale invasion and began invading eastern Ukraine. And President Zelensky declared martial law. Do you know what martial law is?
I heard of it, but
It's a crazy concept. I really want to talk about that on here because that's just crazy to me. So martial law is when any country declares that the military should seize control of how things are operated, how things are done. How would you feel if that happened here? And how do you think it would go over?
Like, I feel like it'd probably be like corrupt.
Definitely.
Yeah.
In some part. I mean, any military that seizes control, I feel like the military's interests would be at heart, not the citizens.
Yeah.
What else? How do you think life would change if we were controlled and occupied by our military?
Like, I feel like we wouldn't have as much freedom as we do today, and like everybody would be going crazy and stuff, wanting to fight each other because they wouldn't have the approaches that they have today.
Yeah, we have a lot of privileges that we aren't even really aware of. We have a lot of things that we're just kind of blissfully ignorant of. A lot of what's the word? Blessings. We have a lot. Oh, sorry. We have a lot of blessings that we're just blissfully ignorant of. But to continue with our conversation that we had, in September 11th, 2022, Ukraine forces retreated from Russia. That was the first time that Ukraine ever pushed Russian forces back, and they claimed over 100,000 square miles. And Russia lost most of the northern regions of sorry for the pronunciation, Kharkiv, something along the lines of that. And then this was some of the most interesting facts I could find about the war going on today. And honestly, I think it's the most interesting fact. But in June 23rd of 2023, Russian mercenaries named the Wagner Group staged a mutiny attempt. And from what I read, the information could be incorrect, but from what I read, some of the Wagner Group was already infiltrated into Ukraine borders, and they showed their true sides and showed that they were fighting for the Russian side. And this conflict ended on June 4th, 2023, but it didn't end because Ukraine fought back and won. It actually ended because after seizing the headquarters, they simply stopped their march toward Moscow, stating that the group had achieved their goal of seizing the attention of Kremlin. I think he's a strong political head in Ukraine, but that's such an interesting and crazy encounter that happened. So this group, they're a group of mercenaries. They're not even Russian army. They started fighting within Ukraine, and they captured a headquarters that was so powerful and so like it drawed so much attention to them that they felt that they won, and they just stopped their march. That's so cold.
Right.
That's straight so cold. They won without even having to win. What's your thoughts on that and your take on the whole mercenary group?
I think it's cool too. Once again, I don't really know much about it,
Mm-hmm.
but like, based on the information that you just gave out, whatever, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. And so switching over to East Palestine and Israel, do you know anything about that war and that conflict that's going on?
No, I don't know much about it.
Yeah, I was a little ignorant of it too. So I started doing some research about 3 days ago, and I started talking to a couple people. And from what I gathered, Islam was occupied by. Yeah, so I was talking to a couple people about it and just picking their brain on different things. And from what I gathered, the country that's now recognized as Islam was at first not inherited, but occupied by a lot of Jewish people. And for whatever reason, they moved all across the country into different regions, different places, and faced a lot of persecution. And during that time, when they moved out, a lot of Arabic nations, they came to power, and they began recognizing that as their land and their occupancy. And after facing all this different persecution throughout the world, a lot of Jewish people came back to Palestine and tried to claim it as their modern day Palestine, and created their own country called Israel. And that faced a lot of Arabic hate. Like, a lot of Arabic groups did not want that country to arise there because obviously they're going to take land, they're going to etc. But the Jewish people, at first, they tried to do a 50-50 split with the Arabic people, but they just didn't want them out the land at all. They were like, this has been our land for so long, we just don't feel you should be here at all. Anyway, a war ended up erupting out of that, and the Jewish people won, establishing Islam as its own country, its own sovereign state. And there was some more small wars and battles to follow, but now it's escalated to the point that there's a group named Hamas, and some people view them as resistant, some people view them as terrorists, but either way, they're the Palestinian force. And then obviously the Israel side has their own force. I actually don't know the name of them, but yeah, so those two sides are fighting. And I've heard a lot of really sad accounts of things that are happening to civilians, people who have no interest in the war at all. What's your thoughts on that brief overview I gave there?
Yeah, I think it's like pretty crazy how the Palestinians wants their land claimed, wherever, like that. When everybody should.
Go ahead. It don't matter. Everybody should.
Everybody should have like the freedom of the land, like the United States.
Exactly.
As they say.
Yeah, you think the land should be free? Everyone should. Because honestly, like, who woke up one day and was like, yeah, this mine. This mine. I could understand it, because humans are just greedy, very greedy people. But we should all just share this earth and share this abundance of resources and wealth that we've come to have in this modern world. But unfortunately, that won't happen. But have you heard anything about the things going on against citizens in Palestine and Israel? You haven't. It's very unfortunate. I've heard a lot of sad accounts about things happening to children, places just being blown away. I know that I believe it's pronounced Gaza, Gaza. There's been a lot of bombings. They turned that city to dust. It's honestly just so sad what they did. A lot of videos just coming out of just amounts of people and buildings, and it's just awful stuff. And honestly, war is just such a violent and awful thing. How do you think war ties in with humanity? Because if you look through a history book, there's always wars.
Yeah,
Do you
like,
think that we're tied in with it? Do you think we can escape it?
I think we could escape it by like trying to avoid like talking trash to one another, like as countries, like stop try to prevent talking trash to one another,
Definitely.
because like that's how wars get started and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and making threats.
Yeah, there's no reason that in this modern 21st century, countries should be arguing and bickering with each other.
Right. It's not worth it.
It's really not. There's no reason to. You guys have so many lives to look after, so many people to protect, and you argue over the most useless, mundane things.
Right.
Doesn't make sense, especially coming as what, you're 17?
18.
18, coming as two 18-year-olds. We can't see the picture of it, and I know that we lack the wisdom and experience that older people have, but if we can't see any reason for two countries, let alone people, to be fighting to that degree, how can't y'all come to terms and solve this? But yeah, very frustrating, very sad stuff. But anyway, to bring it on a more positive note, we have two amazing hosts coming up, and they're very excited to share with you some very interesting video game facts. So
With our new hosts, Juan and Chris.
We're going to be talking about games today. The first game we're going to be talking about is Spider-Man 2. Why don't you go ahead and tell them about Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man 2 is a great game. That's what the critics said online and stuff. They improve a lot of stuff like animations, boss fights. Boss fights have a health bar, and also they have more suits for Miles and Peter. The most requested suit is actually the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie from the movie, and for Miles, I think it was like the Black Panther one. But so far the game is looking good. The price is like $70. You can get a collector's edition that's like $300 in that area. But so far it's a great game.
And it drops in 3 days, October 20th.
October 20th.
And the next game we're going to go to now is Fortnite.
Fortnite, the person that made Fortnite, he thinking about quitting. Well, that's what he wants to do. But before he like ends Fortnite, he wanna do one more season, and the last season will be like the last OG map. So for all the people that is like all the way back in like season
5.
like
Chapter 1,
5,
Season 5.
yeah, chapter 1, season 5, something like that, they will like feel that like nostalgia and stuff feeling, you know.
And that'll be next month. And then after that, they're going to like stop doing that, and it's going to jump right back to like Season 5.
Yes, it is. So that's really we got for Fortnite.
Let's talk about how good the Prime was, like when it first came out.
Man, the Prime was great. Like, yeah, people waking up at like
5.
5.
Not even waking up. They stay up all night.
Stay up all night. Like they'll wake up at like 8 a.m. or something like that and just stay on the game the whole night.
Grind the Battle Pass.
Grind the Battle Pass and everything. People loved it.
All right, well, next game is No Man's Sky. This is a dead game.
No Man's Sky. I've been playing it for like 3 days or something. It's honestly a great game. They lack in some aspects, I'll say, but I like the freedom in the game.
So would you say it's overhated?
Yeah, it's very overrated, honestly. They need to like give it a chance at least. Honestly, better than Starfield. Just saying.
I never played it. I might have to try it. So next game is Realm Royale. Obviously, we really never heard of it. Nobody's really played Realm Royale. It has a low player count. It came out. It kind of died. Juan, do you have anything to say about it?
No. I honestly never heard about the game until now, until we
think-
search it up.
I think it actively has 500 players.
500?
Mhm.
That's insane.
And the next game is Splitgate.
Splitgate, it was a good game when it was rising, I'll say. It's kind of like it's like a Portal, like first person shooter Portal game. You shoot portals. You could just go through the portal and then just shoot people, I guess.
When
But
it first came out, it seemed different and new. You know, like something that like nobody really played before.
yeah, but after a while, it just died out. People was grinding on it and stuff, but honestly, you just wasted your time, bro, 'cause
It was overhyped.
it was way overhyped.
Another game that was overhyped, Hyperscape.
Hyperscape, I ain't never heard of Hyperscape actually.
I think
So, I don't know nothing
it came
about
out. People played it for like 3 months. All the streamers and stuff, and it just died out. Like everybody just stopped playing it.
Shoot, that was a quick way to die. Then. Shoot.